Hi, I'm John.
And I'm Nancy.
And we are J&N Travels. Today's state is Kansas.
Number 1, Botanical Wichita Gardens. Visiting the Botanical Wichita Gardens is one of the top things to do in the city of Wichita. It is a paradise celebrating horticulture that is open year-round, giving visitors 30 themed gardens to explore. Walk into the imaginative and educational Downey Children's Gardens to experience the Monster Woods exhibit or watch kids play in the treehouse. Walk through the Shakespeare Garden to see plants and flowers that represent the Elizabethan era. Enjoy the butterfly gardens and the koi pond pavilions as you walk the 18 acres on site, taking in the beauty of the landscape, the sculptures, and more than 4,000 species of plants.
Number 2, Kansas State Capitol. A walk through the Kansas State Capitol in Topeka is an educational visit. The Capitol complex covers about 20 acres in the heart of downtown Topeka and is considered a treasure among the architectural enthusiasts. The French Renaissance-style building took 37 years to complete after the first stone was set in 1866. Today, visitors can enjoy public exhibits and tours. The murals, sculptures, and regular programs in the Capitol are always captivating, but for a truly unique experience, take the free dome tour. This is for visitors who are physically capable of walking up the 296 steps for a close-up view of the dome and spectacular panoramic view of Topeka from the top.
Number 3, Boot Hill. Do you want to experience what the Wild West was like during the 1800s? Then plan a visit to Boot Hill in Dodge City, where things have changed very little since 1870. The Boot Hill Museum has thousands of artifacts and photographs depicting Dodge City in its early years, from businesses to the social scene. To put the things into perspective, take a stroll through some of the historic buildings like the schoolhouse and Fort Dodge Jail. Get a glimpse into what the general store and local saloon were like in the early 1900s. The best time to visit is when there are special events like the reenactment street shootout of the Boot Hill gunfighters, which take place twice a day in the summer.
Number 4, Fort Scott's Frontier Roots. The Fort Scott National Historic Site is a former military fort and historical area which is operated by the National Park Service. The fort was instrumental in the expansion and settlement of the United States by European settlers in the 19th century. The fort was also a U.S. Army base on the edge of the settlement and was used as a supply base both for the West being settled and throughout the American Civil War. The site includes some 20 structures, parade grounds, and 5 acres of tall grass prairie. Visitors can tour the grounds and buildings and learn about the history of the area and the role the fort played in the history of the nation. Kansas's frontier history centers around Fort Scott. You can actually see 170-year-old axe marks in the beams.
Number 5, Massachusetts Street. Massachusetts Street is the main street in Lawrence, Kansas. It is a very popular tourist destination, and part of it is listed on the National Registry of Historical Places. The street features many buildings that were built during the second half of the 19th century and the first half of the 20th century, including the Free State Brewing Company, Weaver's Department Store, and the Granada Theater. Many of these significant buildings are marked with bronze plaques explaining their significance. The Watkins Museum displays exhibits relate to local and state history. Nearby green spaces, including a city park and a Japanese friendship garden. The street is also a shopper's paradise with many shops offering unique products.
Number 6, the Kansas Cosmosphere and Space Center. The Kansas Cosmosphere and Space Center is a space museum, planetarium, and STEM education center in Hutchinson, Kansas, which is famous for restoring and exhibiting spacecrafts as well as organizing space camps. It now displays over 13,000 space flight artifacts, making it the largest collection of Russian and U.S. space artifacts in the world. Some of the unique and authentic objects in display have actually been flown into space or were in flight-ready backup. There is also a large amount of spacesuits on display, as well as a V-1 flying bomb, a V-2 rocket, a Vostok space capsule, a Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird, and the Liberty Bell 7 Mercury spacecraft, and the Apollo 13 command module Odyssey.
Number 7, the Oz Museum in Wamako, Kansas is dedicated to the Wizard of Oz. It features over 2,000 artifacts that relate to Frank Baum's book, the well-known movie, as well as the silent films and board games. The museum was founded in 2004 and has encouraged the development of several Oz-related businesses, now known as the Oz Cluster. A perfect time to go there is for the Oztoberfest, when an annual street festival is held, offering many fun activities for adults and children, including a costume contest, a window art contest, hot air balloon rides, a yellow brick road bike ride, as well as food and drinks, music, live presentations, and much more from the magical world of the Wizard of Oz.
Number 8, the Museum of World Treasures. The Museum of World Treasures in Wichita, Kansas has a vast display of historical pieces ranging from complete fossil dinosaur skeletons, including the famous Ivan the T-Rex, to Egyptian mummies, a section of the Berlin Wall, and 3 floors of the most diverse collection from world history. As it is a non-profit organization, it provides educational programs, events, and exhibits thanks to the generosity of its donors. The museum is located at the Farm and Art Market Building in Old Town and offers a banquet room for birthdays, weddings, and meetings.
Number 9, Old Cowtown Museum. The Old Cowtown Museum in Wichita, Kansas is an open-air history museum that is unique in its recreation of Wichita and Sedgwick County during the period of 1865 to 1880. It provides a journey back into the time to the Old West lifestyle, buildings, clothes, and customs. You can jump into a bar, get a haircut, see what the prisoners were like, visit the schools, the church, the stores, and more. The volunteers who act as locals are not only dressed appropriately for the period, but also talk the talk and walk the walk. It is a fun experience for the whole family, but especially for the kids, since they can rob a bank, be sheriffs, watch a shootout, and learn as they are amazed by the original 1800 buildings and lifestyle.
Number 10, Dwight D. Eisenhower Library and Museum. The Dwight D. Eisenhower Library and Museum in Abilene, Kansas is one of 13 presidential libraries and tells the story of Dwight Eisenhower, the only 5-star general to become president of the United States. He was famous for the 1944 Allied invasion of Nazi Europe, the first civil rights legislation, and the interstate highway system, not to mention being the first television president. The 5 galleries tells his story from his childhood in Abilene until his retirement and show the house where he lived from 1890 to 1946, as well as his final resting place. The library houses 26 million pages of historical records, 335,000 photographs, 768,000 feet of motion picture film, and 70,000 artifacts. Please subscribe by hitting the subscribe button or click on the frog icon on the video. Don't forget to click the bell to get notified of our future videos. And of course, please click on the thumbs up.
And remember, stay young and have fun.